بالميامين هداتي من بني هاشم بخاتم النبيين أخي الوحي أبي.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our discussion, The Great Trust. Children need love and affection not only during infancy but all throughout their growth and even during their adulthood. But according to researches carried out, the most essential period for the growing child is when he or she is maturing into an adult, when their body is undergoing physical and emotional stresses. This is the time they need the precise dose of love, affection, respect, advice, and independence. During this sensitive time, actions of parents can affect the child greatly. It can either deviate them from the path or make them firm or stable on the path of Islam. To learn more how to keep our children on the path firm and stable, we will invite our Alima Razia Batul Najafi to the studio. Assalamu alaikum, dear Alima.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, we are really happy to know that we discussed the very first stage of the child's life from 0 to 6, and now we're on to the 7 to 14 years. And last week we were introduced to a new concept of celebrating their bulugh, and now we know that they're reaching maturity and their minds and their bodies are approaching towards maturity. Alima, during this very crucial period where the child is exposed to everything, the media and everything, and now they have started school, so they see the world around them. What is the parents' most important duty to keep them towards Islam? Because alhamdulillah, they have trained them during the 0 to 6 period to train them towards religious training and everything else. But now during this important, crucial stage, what is the parents' duty?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Yeah, the duty of parents are definitely very, very hard, and they have very big tasks.
So now the duties are becoming harder with the age of the child.
Yeah, because in 0 to 7, maybe the child, even the child is very adorable and very charming. So they like to be with child, and they are catching the hearts of the parents, the child. So it's easy to give them love and attention and be with them. But after 7, slowly, step by step, that charming is not there for some parents, because sometimes they feel the child is a child, and sometimes they feel he has grown up already. So, and even that's why the child even get a bit far away from the parents. So in this time, because from both sides some kind of gaps are coming on, so they need to give more attention, especially the parents, to the child. And because they are feeling independence in their life, and they feel we are,
something
now, and enough old, we are not child still, and we are not, attached to our mom and dad. So and other side, as Islam has said, that we have, as a parents, we have to advise them, we have to train them, we have to teach them.
Where the training goes on, right?
Yes. So our duty as a parents is to teach them, and from them side, sometimes we don't get that kind of response. They are not sometimes ready to accept it. So there's a big challenge. There's a big task, but with some techniques, it's become so easy, so sweet, so pleasurable, and inshallah, they will take so much benefit from it.
So what are these techniques that our parents need to know? Because I think as the time goes on, and as the children, because they're maturing sooner than they used to in older times, so the parents feel, this is not our duty, it's out of our control, now we have to give up because our children are not ours anymore, because they've started school, now they have other role models, they have peers, they have teachers to look for.
Yeah, definitely, Zahra. It's a very, very, great task and very difficult, to control our children and be attached with them and win their, hearts. But the techniques which our Aimma alayhi salam, they have given us, as Imam Ali alayhi salam, he said that with أذنك حسن الاستماع, because whenever they come back from schools, they like to talk to you, they like to open their hearts, in front of you and discuss their problems, and they have so many stories, especially the girls, they talk to their parents. But unfortunately, sometimes parents, they are tired too, from some reason, and they don't have that much,
capacity to hear them. Right?
Yeah, and that is the biggest, mistake, which as a parent sometimes we do. So if we listen to them very carefully, and we should listen them with whole our existence,
with interest,
with interest, and it this listening, the quality listening and quality, giving time to them, it can cure so many problems, and even our problem, which is to train, to teach them. And as other hadiths, mashallah, as I always say, we are so rich about, this hadith and the training and the ilm which we have from Ahlul Bayt. Like other hadith says, man ahsan al-istima ta'ajjal al-intifa. Whoever is a good listener, he will take the most benefit, because whatever I want to reach to, whatever goal, I will reach very easily to that goal, and that I can fulfill my responsibilities by good listening. So good listening is very important, giving them very positive response, even sometimes if they are wrong, if they are have done something not good. So we shouldn't say straight away, no, it is good. This was again one of the character of our Prophet, that whenever people used to ask some questions and they used to come to again discuss their problems, he never ever used to reply promptly and straightforwardly and suddenly. No, he used to first he used to listen completely, and then he used to give a bit pause, and after giving a bit pause and thinking, then first he used to say something very positively. Yes, I can understand you. Yes, you are true. If I was in your place, maybe I used to feel the same feeling. Yeah. So some this kind of good and very constructive statement we should give. Then after that, but my John, my honey, but if you think like that, then whatever advice we want to do, we can do it. Then they are ready to listen, because you were ready to listen to them. Yeah. So this is the first
point of being all ears and listening to them readily with all interest and all attention, and giving them positive response, and then coming back and giving them advice. Right?
Of course. And that's why hadith says, this hadith is so common, but we have to practice is that our Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, al-mu'minu mir'atul mu'min. The mu'min is the mirror for the mu'min. Like, what does it mean? It means that whenever I go in front of mirror, how much I feel very good. That's why we go. Otherwise, we don't like to go. So how mirror, it's very sincere to me. He never ever, hides my mistakes, and he's showing all my feelings and taking all my, whatever I want from, to see, and he's showing everything. So like that full, I have to listen to my child from my whole existence, and give them all attention as mirror can give to us. And then very politely and very respectfully we can tell them their mistakes. So this is a very important point. And the other point, which mashallah we all know, but the real point is to practice on it, is to be really to be friend with them. If I know what my child likes, and whenever he is sitting or she's sitting in front of TV and talking about his friends and her friends, if I know all his wishes and needs, and I'm very near to him or her, then you don't feel that gap. Then even he doesn't feel that this mother or father, he or she is only the advisor. They like to give just lectures to me, they are father or mother during whenever I do mistakes, they can see just my negative points and faults. They are not with me when I'm happy and I'm in very good mood. I want to share my things with them. Sometimes because of lack of time, unfortunately nowadays parents, they don't have time, which is very, very sad in parenting issue. So if we do, first of all, very less advices to our children, because one of the Zahra, it's very important. I think I have to give so much emphasis, and I have to focus this point a lot, that don't advise a lot extreme advices to your children. Don't constantly say pray namaz and clean your room and put everything in their own place and whatever, whatever you are sensitive about your child and he's not good in that sense. Don't just talk and or advise by your words.
Right. The verbal advices take the least effect.
Yes. And like there is so beautiful one rule in Arabic, we call it as a asle atash, like a thirst, like how Islam says whenever you are hungry, then you go towards meal table and eat the food. If you don't feel that much hungry and you eat, it's not that much beneficial. And then leave the food before you become full. So put some space in your stomach, and keep it a bit empty. So same, the rules and regulation goes for spiritual food, which is advices. For parents, the expertise, they say that don't advise them constantly too much, because whenever they have the need of advice, then you go and say, like how if I'm hungry, if I'm thirsty, so I'm fully ready to eat, and if whatever I eat, I will digest that food
and
very
I will like it will be appealing to
definitely me. So like that, if I feel that there are so many days my parents, nothing they have told me, and sometimes because they have that fitratullah, that good instinct inside them, and they know they have done some wrong deeds, and they are very smarter than us, and they are watching that. Look, what our father will say and mother will say.
So far, nothing has come. So they're waiting for something.
They're waiting, and you are not saying. And then they feel more shy and more rebellious, that why I have done something like that, and they are not saying it because they know that they don't like it, they don't do it, their characters are there. Then if after a while, like how they say attar and perfume is good to put, wherever you put in your body, it gives fragrance, it gives good smell. But the best place to put on vein, because vein is always moving, and that place is has lot of sensitivity. So if you put, it gives more fragrance. So like that, advices are good. Even Islam says inna ad-din an-nasiha, indeed the religion itself, it is an advice. But when, where, and how, that is very important. Very crucial point. And we don't practice, and we are not very good about this kind of teaching. Nobody is there to teach us that when we should do amr bil ma'ruf, nahy anil munkar. That is the biggest mistake as a parents we do, and we keep our children, our youth, very away from us. And this is the, I think, biggest operation which we do towards them.
Our children,
because not only they get to go keep away from us, even from religion, from Islam, from Quran, from hijab, from namaz, so many things. So we should be very, very careful. There are so many chapters in our original books of ahadith about the conditions of nasiha, when and how we should advise and train them.
So all the times should not be the advice time. It should be not specific times, specific moods, specific situations situations and conditions that you can only advise. As you
Yes.
said, the best point was to advise them only when you think there is need and not just any time.
Yeah, and not too much. Then they get so much fed up of
Right.
it.
So
You're
that
not
nothing
talking and
affects
talking.
them,
Yeah,
right.
and they say, okay, when she will or he will
Stop.
keep quiet and stop,
So they
then
become
I
immune
go.
to the words of
Yeah.
the parents. It doesn't affect them anymore, has no effect
Exactly,
on them.
Zahra, and therefore I gave that example of food that
Right,
we should left before get full,
full,
yeah,
right,
and we should eat when we have that
The-
kind of
the
need.
quench,
So we
right,
should give to them advice when they have need of advice, and very, I think. I don't know. I can't give them exactly the statistic or the number, but like once a day or twice a day,
Maximum, right.
maximum. Yeah, not more than
Not
that.
more.
Every day and too much. Only
Like
few
every hour
words.
or just
Yeah.
in every issue they do. Then they
Yeah.
get too, disturbed.
Yeah,
and
there's no effects of that
Right.
advices.
With this, we'll take a short break. Alima, sorry to cut you, but we'll come back to this very interesting topic. Our viewers, do stay tuned. Thank you very much.
إلهي بالميامين هداتي من بني هاشم بخاتم النبيين
Welcome back, our viewers. Our topic of discussion was advising our young children who are growing into adults, and they do need advice. Not that they should not be given any advice, they do need it, but in precise doses that affects them more effectively. Assalamu alaikum, Alima. Welcome back.
Salam, thank you so much.
After a short break, our topic was on advice, and you told us that advice should not be any time, only when you think the need is the most, and you think the children will be receptible to your advice, and they will take it effectively, and they will work on it.
Definitely, and when they are in very good mood, as we have mentioned so many
Right,
times, when they come to you, when they are, you can feel as a parents, how much they are showing their love towards you. That time they are not very sensitive about your advices. They don't rebel against you that time when they come towards you and show their love to you. So that is the best time. And there are so many other things like we shouldn't advise them directly so much. We should advise them indirectly. Like we have so many examples.
Through means of stories and examples of other people.
Yeah. Even one hadith says that once our prophet, he was in the place of Arafah and he saw that one of his companion, he is watching towards women. Yeah. So look at the prophet's way of advisory, that he didn't say that, oh, my sahabi, why you are looking towards the haram, it's haram. No, he's saying that the eyes who will commit sin in this world cannot take that pleasure hereafter. So much, very indirectly, very politely, very respectfully, and not in front of others, alone, and he's saying very respectful. Then, because you are giving just, indication towards the person's, mistakes, so he will think more. You are not taking all the tension to say, why you have done this is so much haram. So you are not giving that much, you are not showing that anger. So then he will think more. He say, look at this man, like I have done so much big mistake, but he's not showing his anger. He's so calm, he's so gentle, but he's guiding me in a very polite and very respectful and decent way. So this only, not this, even Zahra, we have another example that one of the Imam's sons, he was wearing very long dress, and Imam wanted to say that the long, if which is touching the floor, is not suitable, and it's not good for Muslim to wear. So Imam is not saying to why you're wearing as such this
so
kind of dress.
Directly on
So Imam said to his son that wouldn't it be better if you shorten your dress? It's a very polite way, and people they used to notice that how Imam is advising. It's very beautifully. And one more evidence I want to give, that once Imam Sadiq alayhi salam's son Ismail, he said that I want to do somehow some kind of business, and I found a man as a partner. So he's a Yemeni, he's going to Yemen. So should I do dealing with him? So Imam said, you don't know that he's a drunkard.
So we see that the Imams are just giving them just a line of
Yes.
advice, and the person is prone to think about it. He's forced to thinking.
This
what
is
to
the
do.
technique of training, that you force them to think, not yourself. If we as a parents we want to take all the stress,
Stress, right?
and we shout and shout
Work
and
out for
shout.
them. Yes, you just tell them the advice, and they are forced to thinking where they are wrong and what is the right out of this problem.
Yes, exactly.
So the parents just need to work on the simple sentence of advice, and then leave the thirst for the child to quench themselves, to go and find the truth for themselves, and then work on it to make the mistake better,
Of
to
course.
rectify the mistake.
Yeah, and we were talking about the way of advice is, so there are Zahra, so many ahadith, like we can learn from Quran too, like advices should be in a very polite way, not in angry mood. And we know when we do advise, when we want to do, we never see that when I should do, when my child is ready to accept. We as a parents, we become sometimes very selfish, out of control.
Right.
Yeah, because when I see that he didn't put his things on his place, so I get so much angry, and I start to advise him, why you do this, this. So that is not time of advising,
Maybe the
because
best,
I'm not
right.
in good mood, so I have to be in
keep
good
it,
mood. Yeah.
yeah.
And the person both. So look at the Quran, how beautifully Allah is saying to Prophet Musa and Prophet Harun that فَقُولَا لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا, because both they wanted to go to advise Fir'aun. Yeah.
Right.
So Allah is saying that advise them in very, very polite way, gently. Then he will accept, because with very angry mood, even your
And
face
harsh
has
words.
harsh words. It has so much bad effects. And then other point, it's all of us we know, but I want to say this hadith that innal alima idha lam ya'mal bi'ilmihi زلت موعظته عن القلوب كما يظل المطر عن الصفا. Like if I'm as a mother, I know something which my child, he doesn't know, so I'm alim. Yeah, alim means that. Because I know and he doesn't know, I want to inform him. So if I want to inform him and I'm not practicing myself, then hadith says that that my advice is never ever works. Why? As kama yazilul matar, like the rain just passes over the rock, like that my advices will passes over his heart. It can't
He won't
be
take
stay.
him,
Yeah, because he knows that she's saying about, for example, hijab or whatever, and she herself, she's very double faces, she sometimes she does and sometimes she doesn't, and she's saying about like don't lie, but I have seen so many times, she lies a lot. So just we do advise, but there's no effects for them.
The child. Also, as you said, that if the parent is an alim, meaning they're at a higher level, isn't it a good idea to come down at a child's level? As we see examples from Prophet Ibrahim's time, when he wanted to tell the people to stop worshipping the sun and everything. So he said, okay, I'm worshipping the sun now. And then he's like, no, I cannot worship the sun. So he was coming down at the people's level. So maybe when we want to advise our children, maybe we can come down to their level and say, if I were in your place, I wouldn't have done this. So you can make the child feel that you're not too high to advise them. That's
so beautifully. Yeah, definitely. We have so many examples in Quran, alhamdulillah, and one of them is this.
The way to advise. Another thing, Alimas, you said that the words should be very lenient and very kind and gentle, polite. How about when it comes to actions where you need to take a definite action, like when they're not praying namaz, for example, or they're doing some haram, or they're not doing some wajib? Can you still be polite then? Or because then we have hadiths in Islam that say when they don't pray namaz, and you hit them, or you force them into praying. So how about this? How does this come?
Yeah, Islam is very strict, definitely, Zahra. But we are talking about the advices. That the advice is when we want to, teach them. After teaching, after reminding, like how we have so many stages in Islam, like how we say that even Shaitan comes near to us with step by step, like that. Everything should be gradually. So gradually, we should put the love of namaz and everything, and we are teaching them, advising them about namaz and everything. But after all preparation
tried
which we
our
have
best.
done, yeah, if they are not listening, then you have to take some kind of action. How we have for even for ladies, so many people they have this objection that why Islam says that husband can hit the wife, when and how nobody knows about all the conditions. In Surah Nisa, Allah says that because husbands has only two rights towards women, the most important one is she can't go without permission, and second one, his sexual need. So if she's not giving that, fulfilling his need, so Islam says that first advise her so many times, very politely, very gently, then separate the bedrooms, and your beds, and then after that, still if she's not listening, after that Islam says, then because she's one of the nashiza, she's extremely disobedient, and we have only few, rarely so many, many wives like that. So that time Islam says you can hit, wife. So here even in Islam, like once they said a companion came to Imam Raza alayhi salam, and he said that my child, he never listened to me, and he's not good obedient child. So Imam said, لا تضربه واهجره ولا تطل. Don't use hitting as a one of the technique of for training the child. لا تضربه واهجره. Just break your relationship with him for a very, very short period. ولا تطل. This is very, very important condition which is Imam is putting, that don't make it very lengthy, that don't talk with him till more than 3 days or 2 days. No, just 1-2 days, because as Allah has said that the people, Allah doesn't like them in the hell. Allah don't want to talk to them. Not talking to the your beloved one, like how much parents they like, and how much even child likes the parents, but they don't want to talk to each other just because because of that action. So it gives so much like hurt and so much attention to child, to think that look, they are not talking to me because I'm not praying on time and I'm not regular prayer of namaz. So it gives a lot of message to them, and they can understand the importance of the religious training.
So this is also one way of training. If you come to an extreme and your advice is no more have an effect, then you can maybe not talk to them for a few hours and make them understand that they have
just
done
for a few hours, not long. But then you will lose your child, because then he will go towards his friends.
They'll become more rebellious.
Yes. But if you're not showing your love and affection enough, then you don't use this one. If you are showing your very loving parents, and he knows that you are loving them, you are respecting them, but because of this particular issue, you want to show that importance of the issue, you can just for a few hours, and 1 or 2 days you can't you can break that relationship just for a few hours, inshallah, not more than that.
So this is a condition. You can use this tool, but not for an extremely long time, because then it has negative effects on the child.
Exactly.
They might even feel rebellious or go on to other people like friends and peers and take help from them.
Of course, yes.
So I think our viewers, our time only allows us to cover this much for today. So our today's main crucial point was advising our children. They do need advice, as I said, and but the advices have to be very proportionate according to their need, according to their mood, and obviously the right advice does have an effect on the heart, because our youth are always very sensitive and gentle, and they take in all the good advices that come to them, but through a good way.